Welcome welcome back, algebra students. Okay, so now things are getting a little bit more intense, but we know everything to do here now. If you did the group practice and you were fine what's happened in the group practice, this may look terrible to you. It may look like there's a lot of stuff going on. I see a lot of numbers. I see parentheses. I see y's. I see an equal sign. We know everything to do. It's just doing it in the right order. Okay. So here's what we have to do. Before we do anything, we have to do the distributive property. Okay? So, to get everything to be unlocked, to get rid of this 2y and this y over here, I want variables only on one side, though I'm starting out with two variables. They're both y, so I can move them. Okay? So, first thing we got to do, and those of you who may have already guessed, distributive property. So one more step. So step one here is distributive. Just got to go through with that. Make sure you get good at the distributive property. 4 times 2 is 8, and I keep the y. 4 times 1 is just 4. All positive, equals 2 times y. Well, y really has a 1 in front of it, so 2 times 1 is 2, keep the y, and then 2 times negative 13, I put that in the calculator if I don't know it, but it's negative 26. Save us time by not using the calculator here, but when you're doing it, I want you to use the calculator so you're good with it. Okay, so now we're back to the problem we had in the last section. Okay, I think I did black first. Now I'll do black second here. So second step. Move the variable, which is the letter or the baby. Okay, our variable is y. So I want y only on one side. Again, when this whole problem is over, I want the answer to be y equals something. So here I'm going to go and say, well, I have to move the y. I'm going to use my move the baby strategy. Instead of moving that, I'm going to move negative 2y. I do negative 2y here. Now, I only do it to the y's because I can't do anything to the 4. So 8 minus 2 is 6y. 2 minus 2 is 0. That gets rid of it. Now let's bring down everything else. Plus 4 equals minus 26. Okay. Next step. Let's do it in red. Step 3, if you remember, add or subtract. Well, I'm looking at this side here, and this is where I got to get rid of all the stuff now. I move my y over here. Now I just got to get rid of this other junk around the y. Well, the first thing I have to do is add or subtract. I have to take out this number, the 4, plus 4, 6y. 6 multiplied by y plus 4 is what it's saying officially, so I do add or subtract first. And since it's plus 4, I do the opposite, minus 4. I come over here. I do minus 4. I bring down my 6y because there's nothing doing there. 4 minus 4 is just 0. Bring down my equal sign. Negative 26 minus 4 in my calculator would come out to minus 30. Okay, so one more section. So let's do this one in green. Here we multiply or divide. Well, in this case, I look at this here and I say, well, I got to get y by itself. That 6 is preventing that. This is really 6 times y. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm dividing by 6. Not 6y, just 6. Over here, I'm dividing by 6. And at the end, 6 divided by 6 is just 1, so I can get rid of those. I can bring down my y. Bring down my equal sign. Negative 30 divided by 6, if you put that in the calculator, you'll get the answer of being negative 5. Now, one last thing, this is really it. So that's what I wanted. I want the y by itself. I had to take 4 steps to get there, but we know how to do all these steps now. Nothing here is a mystery. So if you don't know this, go back to the previous 2 lessons or 3 lessons, and you will get a better understanding of these steps. But what we did is we moved 1 step at a time. And it seems like we built on these steps. These 2 we learned first. We either did one or the other. Then we started working with, distributive property and moving the variable. We just did it in that way. So one last thing I'm just going to go through. You don't have to necessarily do this, but it's the check. Okay? So if I wanted to know what 4 2y plus 1 equals 2 parentheses y minus 13 equals, I'm going to substitute wherever I see y, I'm going to put in the number negative 5. So 4 times 2 minus 5 plus 1 equals 2 minus 5 minus 13. Okay, minus 13. Just make sure that's minus 13. Okay, so 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 plus 1. Keep the 4 out there. 2 times negative 5 minus negative 13, negative 18. Okay, so now I'd probably do this. 4 times negative 10 plus 1, negative 9. So let's do the math here. 4 times negative 9, negative 36. I'll put in my calculator 2 times negative 18. And I'll get negative 36. Don't have to do the check. I'm just showing you how it works. Okay, so if you ever want to make double sure, especially considering that when we're doing these quizzes in my class, you have time to make checks and double checks and triple checks. You can do that. All right, I'll talk to you later.